Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Larissa Palika, and I'm the Product Marketing Manager for Collaboration here at Box. When it comes to work, there's one thing we can be sure of. Change is the only constant. With the rise of hybrid work, collaboration tools have emerged as the new workplace, but more isn't always better. Lots of apps can mean content silos, confusion, and cost. Today, we'll talk about optimizing the way you work together with Box, see a demo featuring our Canvas and our new Box Hubs products, and we'll hear from speakers from Mark Zakubo and the United Robotics Group, who will share their experiences as well as practical advice for collaborating in Box. Box supports you doing your best work. Over the last year, we've extended our set of Box native tools for collaboration so you can brainstorm, create, and analyze directly in Box, with Box Canvas for visual collaboration and whiteboarding, Box Notes for user-friendly content creation and documentation, and Content Insights for seeing engagement on individual pieces of content. Now, we're excited to add curation and publishing functionality with Box Hubs. Box Hubs help you surface great content faster by curating, organizing, and sharing it with easy-to-access portals. So how does that work? Well, I can add links from any piece of content or any folder in Box to one or more hubs, creating an easy-to-skim and understand content playlist. And because I'm linking to the content and not moving it, all the security, compliance, and permissions are maintained. Plus, hubs can be customized with imagery and text by the hub editor with no IT resources or coding knowledge needed. So we've heard a lot about unstructured data, but what is it? So it's the files, the notes, the slides, the images, videos, and more that make up 90% of an organization's data. Box AI is helping to shine a light on that dark data and extract value from it. And there's perhaps nothing more exciting than the combination of Box Hubs with Box AI. You'll be able to ask Box AI any question about a hub, and Box AI will extract information across multiple files when providing the answer. So get ready to ask any number of questions, including comparing specific files, identifying essential information, or drafting content based on the hub. I can't wait to show you how it all works. So let's go ahead and play the demo.
I'm Brad, project lead at Content Cloud Films, and I'm going to use Box Hubs to publish and organize key content that will help our global team securely get up to speed on our latest production, Reign of the Raptors. I can easily create a hub by clicking on the Hubs icon and selecting New Hub. No developer assistance required. I'll name the hub Reign of the Raptors, then upload a custom banner image and icon. I'll also call out in the description that this hub is a one-stop shop for all the content resources and information my team needs to get started on the production. My team has a tendency to jump right in, so I'm going to create a Start Here section that highlights what resources a new team member should review first. Next, I'll set up an About Reign of the Raptors section where I can post more relevant content to the production. Adding content to a hub is easy. I can choose files and folders directly from Box to create a content playlist that's easily accessible from the hub. This is just a start. If I miss anything or something new is created, I can easily add it as needed. Plus, the same content can be added to multiple hubs, and any changes are automatically reflected in the documents, saving my team and I valuable time. I can save and publish my hub with the click of a button. Hubs makes it easy to create a site for knowledge sharing amongst my team while storing my content safely and securely on Box. One of the items I added to our Reign of the Raptors knowledge base was our production vision board that we created in Box Canvas. As you can see, we have a lot of different elements here, from images that inspired us to potential locations and color palettes we'd like to use in the film. I'm going to share the canvas with the director Lily to get her input. I can see Lily making changes to our timeline, and she's left me a comment asking if this has been added to our hub. I can reply that we are good to go right from Canvas. Now, let's see how the crew can leverage our hub to accelerate the way they work.
I'm Paige, one of the animators on the new Reign of the Raptors film. Our hub was just shared with me, so I'm going to ask Box AI to summarize the hub content for me to get caught up quickly. Using Box AI is really easy. I can start a query by clicking the Box AI icon at the top of the hub. I'll prompt Box AI to create a concise summary of all of this collected content and provide a bulleted list of the main points and important takeaways. Box AI looks across all of the content in the hub to create an easy-to-read and understand summary in seconds. With hubs and AI, my team is always on the same page, and I can work more effectively than ever before.
What a great demo. Love seeing Box Hubs and Box Canvas in action, and with dinosaurs, no less. So one of the most important aspects of developing innovative new products like Box Hubs is customer feedback. That's why I'm excited to welcome Matt Hoey, Assistant Vice President of Technology at Mark Zakubo, to our productivity session. As a design partner, Matt and his team have been actively using and giving crucial feedback on Box Hubs, our new intelligent portals capability. So thank you for being here, Matt. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here and looking forward to sharing some of our experience with Box and the new product hubs.
Wonderful. So to kick things off, can you tell me a little bit about Mark Zakubo?
Yeah.
And what you do at this company?
Definitely. Yeah. Mark Zakubo is the leading national architectural engineering and construction consulting firm. And we specialize in solving complex problems for our clients by bringing tailored solutions across all aspects of commercial real estate activities. We've been really helping to pioneer much of those services that lenders and financial investment institutions have come to rely on their consultants for. And now in our 41st year of business, we continue to develop and pioneer new services around things like ESG initiatives and earthquake reporting and monitoring. So it's never a dull moment.
I can only imagine. I'm terrified of earthquakes, so I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Can you elaborate a little bit on your role there? I know you're a true technologist at heart, and I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, I would say just real quick to begin, shortly after high school, I jumped into the trades and I became a carpenter working for a small contractor. And that's really where I found my love of building and construction. And then from there, I chose to pursue my master's of architecture and got my license. And for several of those sort of formal learning years, I happened to work for a company called Mark Zakubo, and they were super supportive of my educational endeavors. I think it helps when you have a company that one of those core values happens to be school's never out. So we were, in alignment there because I feel like I was in school forever. But, so I was with the company. I was performing the work for several years, the core services, but I did always have this sort of innate interest and passion for technology, and was always looking for ways to make what we did more efficient, also help our clients make better decisions, and bonus points if whatever that new technology tool was also enjoyable, right? So then fast forward a few more years, and me and three other colleagues, we were provided an opportunity to really formalize a technology department at our company. And one of our first significant projects that we were responsible to tackle was how to solve content collaboration challenges we had. And so spoiler alert, it was Box.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
Nice. So what were some of those collaboration pain points that you were trying to solve?
So this is going back almost 7.5 years now. And at that time, there were really two things. One that kind of instigated the whole process for us of looking at it. And that was at that time, we needed to align on a single product to be able to share our files. And our employees were trying to solve that problem themselves. So they were using basically every cloud content or storage provider solution out there, so that they could send a file to our clients that if they just emailed it, it may have exceeded some email limitations. So that was the first that we were trying to solve. But the bigger problem was really around the need to consolidate our siloed local servers. We had 9 offices around the country, and it became really apparent that we needed some sort of unified, best-in-class solution that could allow all employees to get to their content from anywhere at any time.
Yeah, I can feel the pain in your story just because of this like idea of email attachments and file limits and multiple silos of content. Super painful. I know that you said when you implemented Box, you went cold turkey. And I was hoping you could elaborate a little bit about that, because I think that we as employees, we need to have a certain skill set sometimes to use the technology that we're given, but having the organization really dictate that can really help and turn out to be successful.
Hugely successful. And I would say, you know, like I said, when we started this, it was really like, how do we solve that one problem of sharing files that are particularly large and the challenge around that? And our CEO had, you know, the foresight to say, well, let's broaden it beyond that and say, can we really just move everything into Box? And once we made the decision collectively to say, yes, we can and we should, then it really became, well, how are we going to do it? So it was kind of like a two-stage approach. We just said, you know, employees, if you want to access your projects, beginning on a certain date, all new projects will only be in Box. So there was really no choice at that point for those new projects. And then we went through a really like intentional process of gathering up the rest of our projects, our long live projects, and working with our, you know, with our employees and our teams to figure out when would be best to transition those folders and files off of the local servers and up into Box.
So you said a trigger word for me, and that's folders. It brings us kind of to Box Hubs, really, because I think Box Hubs, I think of it as the anti-folder to a certain extent. Box Hubs are intelligent portals for surfacing great content, but you know that because you've been part of the Design Partner Program. I'm hoping you could share some of your experiences around that, what you thought of Hubs and what you were potentially going to use it for.
Yeah, I'll say first, let me just like starting with the beginning, like when I first heard of Hubs and saw some of what might be coming, I was super excited because it was like, this could be the one thing that helps us break free of SharePoint, you know, forever. We don't use it a lot, but there were some limited use cases where, you know, it was helpful to use it. So to have a solution that was natively built within Box and you know had a common sort of design language and you know, consistency across the different products that made it easy for someone to interact with and build out. That was really, you know, it piqued our interest for sure. So we were all about it. The other thing is like, you know, when you think about portals and assembling content in a location for a specific purpose, like that can, you know, generally require like specialized skill sets, right? And maybe some development required related to it. All of these things begin to get costly and time consuming. So again, having something potentially that is natively within the platform of Box, that was, we're super excited.
I think the magic words for me are like one click or, you know, no IT resources required. Those are like, I'm like, really? Okay. Can you talk to some of the use cases that you might end up using Hubs for? I know you'd spoken a little bit about your specialized libraries and having mechanical engineers and structural engineers and things like that. Probably all types of engineers, but if you could just elaborate, that would be amazing.
It's true, there's a lot of engineers.
There are,
yeah, so, you know, one of the challenges, sort of internal facing challenges that we have is, you know, the fact is we have a ton of content in Box. And so, you know, having that content, you know, doesn't really, you know, it matters, but even when you go to the effort to have a super organized folder structure and a really deliberate and intentional procedures for filing content, it can still be really overwhelming for employees to get to the information, to you know, navigate and locate the information they need to do their job. So having something like Hubs is something, you know, where for us, we look at it like, we anticipate being able to leverage those specialist groups that we have. So we have engineering specialist groups for mechanical and structural and many others. And so to really lean on those subject matter experts to be able to jump in because it's a very intuitive interaction and help build out hub pages, help assemble the content because the content's already living in Box in other locations, and help to you know, curate and pre-filter that information. We just think is going to be really successful because it's going to help our employees get to that information, you know, really intuitively and fast, and help them, you know, perform their work better.
I just love that because I think there's nothing more empowering than having the content you need at your fingertips and being able to access it in a self-serve manner.
Absolutely.
Too. Matt, it's been wonderful chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming down and being on the Boxworks stage.
Oh, I'm thrilled to do it. Thank you again for having me.
Wonderful. And I know who to keep on speed dial for the next time that I need somebody to test a product.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Perfect. Next, stay tuned for our conversation around visual collaboration. Now we're going to switch gears from curating and publishing content with Box Hubs to Box Canvas, our recently released visual collaboration and whiteboarding tool. When it comes to collaborating, it's important to have the right tools at hand, depending on the situation you're in. When I need to get visual, so think brainstorming and planning, or when I'm hosting any type of interactive session, I turn to Canvas so I can build out those ideas with my team. That's why I'm thrilled to welcome Tim Teufel, IT Administrator at the United Robotics Group, to the session. United Robotics Groups has been using Box as the central content cloud for almost 2 years. With Box, they've been able to store, organize, and share content across their different companies, and use Box Canvas, Notes, as well as other integrations to collaborate. And perhaps most importantly, through control of their data, they've maintained compliance with GDPR, a particularly important concern for European companies. So, Tim, welcome. Thank you so much for braving the time distance between Redwood City and Germany.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm looking forward to sharing what we've been up to with Box.
Amazing. I think there's nothing better than hearing from your peers. And I'd like to start by learning a bit more about the United Robotics Group and your role there. Can you tell us a bit more?
Sure. The United Robotics Group is based in Bochum, Germany, and we're a group of about 11 companies, all in the robotics and industrialization part. We are mainly focused on robots that are interacting with humans to, for example, work in the education field, introducing robotics and programming to students and get them a little bit into STEM subjects. And recently, we have a serving robot that is capable of supporting restaurant staff with their daily workload. And my role in the company is, as you mentioned before, an IT administrator. And I mainly work with our different content cloud tools, or our content cloud tool, and and all of the Microsoft server administration that we have to do.
Nice. You might need a robot for that sometime, but I know, right?
That would be nice, yeah.
Why don't you just give us a little bit of an idea of how you're using Box at the United Robotics Group?
Sure. Box is our central content cloud at the United Robotics Group. We use it to store all of our data within Box, and every client PC that we roll out within the company is equipped with Box Drive, so that there's always synchronization going on and that we don't lose data. This gives us a threshold in really owning our data, which is important to be GDPR compliant within the European Union.
Oh, absolutely. And it sounds also, because you're working with so many different companies, that there's a lot of information exchanged around those different companies that you've worked with. Can we just go a little bit deeper into collaboration? Can you tell us how you're using some of Box's tools to collaborate amongst those companies?
Sure. We recently implemented Box co-authoring to really allow different companies in different countries, because one of our biggest entities is based in France and we are based in Germany. And we have, with co-authoring, the ability to really work together on documents, on an Excel sheet and all of that. We use Box Notes for shorter meeting notes, but also we have the integration with Confluence as our project management tool to really store the data within Box and then have a little bit of a framework around this.
Sounds like you're living the dream, integrating, using Box native tools. I love it. When we last spoke, you talked a bit about Canvas and how you are using visual collaboration with your teams and how it's been helpful. So can you give us a bit of a use case or some understandings about how you've been using Canvas?
Personally, I use Canvas for general brainstorming during a meeting, during a planning stage, when we plan, for example, a little bit of network infrastructure. It's really easy within Canvas to like throw up a little chart and have all of the servers, like how they connect. And it's not the final plan, of course, but it's a really awesome tool to use to brainstorm these kinds of ideas. And another part that we've used is during the implementation of our change management system within the company, we used Canvas a lot to draw the processes and how the processes will fit together within the change management within the company.
I love that. That's how we're using it in marketing too, when we have some of our marketing processes, and then being able to get that feedback with sticky notes or having to being able to share it with colleagues really spurs that interactivity. Now, I know previously you were using Miro and you've decided to move to Canvas. Can you give us a little bit of information about that?
We were part of the beta testing of Box Canvas, because we were really excited to have an alternative to Miro. And when we tested it, we found that Box Canvas natively can do about 90% of what the general user were using Miro for. So we decided to switch because of two reasons. First, we own all the data. We know where the data is stored exactly, and it's built into our Content Cloud. So it's really easy for people to access this. And also, to be honest, it's a cost issue. We have lower licensing costs because we don't have to buy the licenses for Miro anymore. So so that's what we've been doing, and we've been switching it.
Well, I love that, because I do think that there's something around cost, complexity, and just consolidation. I know in Europe, GDPR and also data privacy is really important, but there's something there too for the individual end user, because being able to use one system where you've got Notes or your integration with Microsoft, where you've got Canvas, it makes context switching and productivity a little bit faster. Now, you mentioned you were part of the beta and you tested Canvas. Are there any recommendations that you'd give to somebody who is looking to roll out Canvas to their org?
I'd recommend that you have a small test team to first test the tool before you roll it out to the entire company. Usually we test everything on the IT department. But also we, with Box Canvas, we identified key users within certain teams and enabled Box Canvas for them and waited for the feedback, if it's useful for them or not. And then we rolled it out in a second phase to the entire company. And also, I think that is good to drive adaptability of a new tool, because if you already have one or two people within a given team that are using the tool and that are working with it, it's much easier to make the change from in our case, Miro before, and to have really this key user to drive adaptability of a new tool.
Yeah, I think we all want to follow the leader of the pack, so to speak. So if you have one person that you can go to and ask your questions or see how they're using it, it becomes so much easier to incorporate that technology into your own workflow. Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining us here today. I loved hearing more about how you are using visual collaboration in Canvas and Box, and we really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you again for joining us here today to learn how you can organize the way you work together by creating, curating, and analyzing directly in Box with our native collaboration tools. Be sure to give Box Canvas a try. It's available now. And look out for the Box Hub's beta coming soon.